Hi there, we are here with Marshall Sylver, who's a keynote speaker at the New Media Expo, and today we're going to speak to Marshall about monetization. For those of you out there who have a blog or any new media piece out there, you need to be making money, or, as Marshall says, it's just a hobby. Is that right?
I would agree with that, and that's a painful message for people to hear. You know, none of us want to believe that what we're doing isn't so great that people want to throw money at us, but you guys know for sure that early on you learn that show business is two words and business is the bigger word.
Right.
And new media is show business, it is. And whether it's a blog that has a serious topic or an informative topic, it's still an entertainment medium. And we've got to, number one, attract people. We've got to get people to read what we've written or listen to what we're broadcasting, watch what we've created. We also, though, need to figure out how to monetize that. And I think sometimes that's scary for people and can sometimes even frustrate people that they don't want to be seen as a sellout or, you know, that their craft is diminished because they have to go out and sell ads or figure out subscription programs or what the back end is. And ultimately, that's what sustains things. You know, as a young man, I was a magician, and I was really true to my craft, and I created some really great magic, and I would spend hours practicing some sleight of hand to do a magic effect because it was pure sleight of hand, when the same exact effect could be created with a gimmick or a trick. And to me, it wasn't pure. Well, when I would go out and do what I would do, I'd spend hours working on that sleight. The audience couldn't tell the difference. And so it didn't make a difference. And ultimately, I realized that if I wanted to earn a living, was it about my ego and vanity, or was it about my impact on other people? So one of the biggest hurdles that I think new media has right now is people need to understand how to monetize exactly what they have. I was chatting with somebody yesterday. They have 10,000 people that regularly listen to their podcast, and on the day that they put their podcast out, they'll have 1,200 downloads. And I asked him, how much money are you making off that broadcast? And he said, $1,000 a month or so. And I said, what if each of your listeners, each of the people that visited you every month, was worth $7 a piece? So that those 10,000 people could be $70,000 a month in, month out. Would that be interesting to you? And he said, how in the world can I do that? I said, once again, it's seeing things through a different eye. It's seeing things through an and world, that you can put out phenomenal material and you can monetize it at the same time. And I said, I have this great new network. It's called the Get Rich Radio Network, and that's exactly what Get Rich Radio Network was created for. GetRichRadio.com was designed for podcasters that they don't have to change anything. All they have to do is have their broadcast either air additionally on the great Get Rich Radio Network, which means that when people visit them there and listen for free, they don't have to buy anything, they get paid by my advertisers for the number of listeners they attract to the network. How cool is that?
That's cool.
Now, if somebody doesn't want to broadcast, and maybe they don't even have a big list, they don't have a list big enough or a following big enough for us to be interested in having them on the network, they can also still profit, because all they have to do is in their blog or in their podcast say, hey, go check out Get Rich Radio. This guy's awesome. He's got some great things to tell you. When you listen, you don't have to pay for anything, but the moment you listen, you'll get paid. And if you tell anybody else about the radio network, GetRichRadio.com, you get paid on their listening too. So not only do they get paid if they're a broadcaster for me, they also get paid if they just introduce people to the network. So bottom line is...
And you're also getting paid on top of that.
Oh, I get paid big bucks. I do. I get paid on top of that because we put about $500,000 into the software for Get Rich Radio. We've already given away $340,000 plus in cash, $1,000 at a time as a hook to get people to come listen. And we've given out millions and millions and millions of scholarship dollars to the people that listen. So we're on to something. In fact, we had it down for 2 years. We are in beta relaunch right now, backed by popular demand. And we were testing the servers. We were testing the system because we hadn't had much traffic on it. I made an announcement to 200 people on a Thursday night. By the following Wednesday day, they had crashed my servers. Over 20,000 people had registered as a listener on the site. And it was crashed. We brought it back up yesterday at about noon. Between noon and 9 a.m., we had another 7,000 people sign on as listeners to Get Rich Radio. So we know this is going viral. And we believe, just based on those numbers, and because it's based on people telling people, because of those numbers, we think that within a month for certain, we'll have 100,000 listeners. And I'm being very conservative about that. I truly think that within 6 weeks, it'll hit 1 million.
Right on. Well, congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
exciting news.
And we need to get you on the network.
We're there.
Absolutely.
You have to ask me twice on that. So really quickly.
So you have a face for video, I have a face for radio.
That's not true. Thank you very much, though.
You're very kind.
So really quickly, for those out there who have a blog, who have a piece of content, so there are several different ways that they can monetize it. Are there some quick tips that they can start thinking about possibly investigating and getting that going?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the three things that I always come back to on anything, and especially media projects, number one, advertising, of course. And how do you attract advertising? I read an interesting statistic, had an interesting conversation about a week ago, and that is that online advertising, the amount of money that people are spending on their advertising online, increased almost 50% over 2013, over the previous year. So that means that the people that are placing the ads are seeing more and more response from the ads they place online than the ads that they place in terrestrial radio, television, or print. And part of what that is that online advertising is immediately trackable. I know how many eyes are on that page. I know how many, clicks I got. I know how many impressions I got. And the other thing I think is that because the bang for the buck is bigger, they're realizing that why bother, wasting my money on a TV show that I don't really know how many people really watched it. And so that's doing that. But here's the other thing that I thought was fascinating and exciting, and should be exciting for you if you're in new media. And that is the ad agency that called me up said there is so much money being spent on new media that we have advertisers that can't spend all the money that they want to spend with us. I mean, how great is that? How great would it be to know that there was an endless amount of advertising available to pay for your show that just needed to be tapped into by having really good content? So that's number one. Number two, I believe that there is always in any given audience, people in your audience that want a closer relationship with you. So I highly recommend you figure out some kind of a premium subscription program or some kind of a premium membership program that allows people to, either get videos or get blogs or get a little bit of time with you that they don't get just by being a free viewer, reader, or listener to your product and content. And then finally, one of the biggest things that we can all do is exactly what we're doing right here, and that is figure out strategic alliances. Realize there's no competition unless you make competition. And the best possible thing that we can do is figure out ways to work together, figure out ways that we can enhance each other's lives, and figure out ways that we can support each other, because after all, at the end of the day, life in general, we're all in this thing together, and we owe it to each other.
And that is why he is the king of the throne here.
My throne.
That's right.
My silver throne, I might add.
Right on. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Maria. Nice to see you.
You too.